Afternoon all. We have a 1998 Toyota MR2 in at the moment, in for some rust repairs. It was in for an outer wheel arch section. Obviously the inner piece is rotten. Yeah, and the rust just keeps growing. The inner piece is disappearing. But I may do an old technique where I actually lose the inner wheel arch lip because it always rusts between the two layers. So I might put a section into there and then bond and seal the two bits together. It's down for a section of seal. You can see it's been repaired once before, but it wants doing properly. We've got a seal section. I don't think the camera will pick it up, but it's gone both sides to the rear inner seal. Yeah, I think you can see the white circle. It's having a complete seal the other side. And then there's a rather nasty bit on the floor. So all the seat and the trim and the carpet's got to come out. So we'll be repairing that as well. Right, this is the moment of truth. We're cutting off the outer seal. I put the 1mm cutting disc through it. Oh dear. Wow. The bits are just coming off in lumps. Looks like the whole of the inner seal was just made up of filler. Happy days. That's that inner wheel arch section all butt welded in. I've left that edge off that normally rots out, so that's all good. Down here, these are a very complex design. You've got like the inner the inner seal, and then two like inner strengthened piece. So there's two skins there. I've then made up a piece of the rear inner lower arch, if you like. I've got the seal section trimmed down, almost ready to be fitted, and this repair section didn't even come with an end piece, so I've had to fabricate that piece in there, and they weren't the best fit. I've had to spend quite a bit of time getting it somewhere close, and we're just on to the final fettle before welding that in. But yeah, bit of a bugger doing that bit. That was quite an interesting section. I think maybe because it's a T-bar convertible that they put more strength in, so I put the strength back in best as what I can. This is the wheel arch repaired. I fabricated that section and welded it in. Really pleased with that. Only needs a light skim. Section of seal replaced. Yeah, there was lots of work that's been done behind that. It's all nice and solid. The rot just kept growing and growing, sort of the back of the seal up into the inner wheel arch tub. Yeah, so we've just got to seal the welds now. It's just going out in some gloss black paint for now because the customer wants to have the car repainted. All in all, right, this is an update on the driver's side of the It's not, it's the passenger side of the MR2, and this is down for a complete seal. Look at the state of the inner seal. It was just absolutely riddled with rot, and yeah, it doesn't get much better, unfortunately. So inner arch section has gone like the other side, and you've got an inner strengthener, an inner bit of box section, so rotten, and the rot's even creeping into this almost inner chassis piece. So yeah, major rebuild here. I think because it's a cabriolet, sort of the T-bar, they put more strength in. So there's a strengthening plate in here, which has started to rust, but the floor's rotted through, and it looks like the metal's getting very thin here. So like the very inner seal, so that needs repairing. All this rust needs cleaning up. New strengthener piece put back in. Yeah, all before getting the seal to fit. So fun. Morning all, happy Friday everybody. It's the day that we're going to weld the seal on the passenger side of the MR2 because there's just been so much work involved to get to this point. yeah, you hear comments of people saying just weld a set of seals on or whack them on. Well, it's so much more involved than that. When I cut the outer seal off, the rear sort of inner arch lower tub bit was just non-existent. So I've had to make that, weld that in. The back end of the inner seal, there was like 3 skins, so that's been welded inner, middle section, and then an outer piece. The rot extended to the floor, so inside that piece of floor return was rotten. A piece in there where it joins sort of 2 pieces of floor together. An inner strengthener in there has had to be welded back in. Then you've got this inner section which I've had to weld back in. Some people don't bother, but this has all gone back in for strength. And then the seals that are supplied, someone's had them made and they've put a radius in it, but the radius is nowhere near the same radius as the original seal. The M piece is missing, so you have to weld that up. Everything then needs a coat of epoxy primer in the inner pieces. The edges, I always use zinc weld through primer. That's going to get clamped. Where on this occasion I'm doing a slight overlap, I put zinc primer on there, but a little trick I always do, once it's all clamped in place, I then clean that edge off with a wire brush or a screwdriver. And the holes that I'm migging up, I also spend the time cleaning them holes out just to get a really nice weld. It's supposed to be weld through, but there's always a bit of a delay. So, yeah, a little trick that I do is just clean that edge up once it's all clamped on in place. Yeah, it's only bloody Friday. Woohoo! Afternoon, everyone, on this glorious sunny day. About bloody time. Just getting ready for this. The customer to collect his MR2. Just doing the final checks, and quite importantly, we are wax oiling inside the cavities. This is an Indasa aerosol product. You've got a long tube with 3 holes, and it sprays. It's basically liquid wax that it's all very well doing all your welding, but then how do you protect the inside that you can't get to? This is like the only product that you spray it inside the cavities to just protect it all. So yeah, you find a hole that will access the inner part of your car, run the tube in as far as you can, press it, and then slowly work the tube out. And what you're looking for is it to run out of the bottom as well. That way you know you've got it all. You can see it vaporizing as well. Yeah, so it's just a small job, but a major part of actually keeping the rust repairs long lasting. As you can see, the seal's been welded on now. So yeah, I just wanted to focus on, I think in the last video we touched base on how the seal wouldn't fit properly. And this is the old profile, and this is the new piece that we'd had, the new section that was supplied. Yeah, and it was just wrong in so many different ways, so I had to reshape it and make it fit. Yeah, it was a struggle to get that seal to line up, but this is the results. There's no filler in there, so yeah, in the end I got it to fit really well. It's just been sealed with some stone guard and some satin black, because the customer clearly said to me, look, I'm going to have the car repainted at a later date, I just want the repairs sealed. So a good coat of stone guard and satin black was deemed the best option. So yeah, you can see the finish article. Like I said, there's no filler in there, so before paint it would have a light skim just to finish it off. yeah, and then, oh, excuse me, nearly fell over. Same on this side. Obviously, you can see we just painted the repaired section. It is going to be back to us at a later date. There's some more rust that needs doing at a later point. Bit on the door. There is some corrosion behind here. Same for the arch. There's no filler in there, so it might not look the prettiest, but that's metal finished and just a coat of paint on there. So yeah, really pleased with the outcome. Customer's delighted. I think he's looking forward to just getting it back and driving it now.